Tucker Carlson, 2 weeks after being ousted by Fox News, accused the network Tuesday of fraud and breach of contract and made a host of document demands. Interesting. That could precede legal action. He may sue them, y'all. Why it matters. The aggressive letter from his lawyers to Fox positions Carlson to argue that the non-compete provision in his contract is no longer valid. In other words, they typically have a non-compete, which means they get to pay you out, but during the duration of when they pay you out, you don't get to work. His lawyers are saying, nope, actually, that's not valid, and here's why. And what that would do is allow him to go work, allow him to go do his Twitter show, allow him to go do whatever he wants to do. So the Twitter move, it says, would seem to technically violate Carlson's contract with Fox, but his lawyer's letter holds that Fox breached the contract first. Now, why? Why did they breach the contract? Okay, here's what they're saying. The letters from Carlson lawyer Brian Friedman to Fox officials, it went to Irina Briganti. Oh, it's a long story there. And Vietden, I don't know who that is. It said that Rupert Murdoch himself broke promises to Carlson intentionally and with reckless disregard for the truth. The lawyers accused Fox executives of making material representations or promises to Carlson. So they promised him stuff that they intentionally broke, and they are alleging that that is then fraud. Notably, the letter alleges Fox broke an agreement with Carlson not to leak his private communications to the media and not to use Carlson's private messages to take any adverse employment action against him. Multiple outlets have reported on Carlson's redacted communications from pretrial discovery documents and have suggested they led to his ousting. So they're talking about the stuff that happened with Dominion, what he said, what he didn't say. Apparently, he's claiming that they had conversations, that he had conversations with senior leadership and said, none of my stuff is to be leaked. And now you've seen all the leaks come out. So he's saying this is breach. This is fraud. You have violated your terms, and hence now the terms no longer exist. Brilliant, by the way. And gutsy. You know what? They do this to people all the time. Corporate media is disgusting. I can't tell you what has happened to me in the way of their contracts that I've signed. And yes, you sign it, and but when they dirty stuff. Dirty stuff. In general, I'm speaking about corporate media at large. And oftentimes you look at it and you say, I could fight this, but do I really have the money, the power to have this go on? Because they can just spend endless swaths of money, these corporations. And you say to yourself, at the end of the day, is it really going to be worth it to me? No. You know what? You need somebody like him. He's got the money. He's got the prestige. Their ratings are sinking without him. He has a lot of power. He knows that he's not only doing this for himself, by the way. He's doing this for everybody else that suffered this at the hands of corporate media and didn't have that kind of power and didn't have that money and didn't have that reach and didn't have what he's basically doing this for all of us. And by the way, he's doing it for all of you too. And he's doing it for everyone that comes after, because if they know that they're going to be at risk, that somebody will stand up, if they know they're going to be more and more hesitant to fire people just because, or because they don't like their viewpoint, or because the Matrix doesn't like them, right? He's instilling a little fear right back in their faces. Good for him. So, and this is the stuff about Dominion, by the way. Carlson was told by a member of the Fox board, apparently, that he was taken off the air as part of the Dominion settlement. Two sources briefed on the conversation told Axios that. It doesn't name, there's no names mentioned here. So take it as you will. According to a source familiar with Carlson's position, his lawyers believe that the misrepresentations alleged by Carlson amount to a breach of contract because they created additional terms of Carlson's employment that were then broken by the company. These actions not only breach the covenant of good faith and fair dealing in the agreement, but give rise to claims for breach of contract. Okay. Now, this is the best part. Carlson is also claiming that Irina Briganti works at Fox, and there's a lot of reporting about her that she holds files on people and is very vengeful. I personally did not have any entanglement with her personally, although some things were said behind the scenes that I've been made aware of that were fascinating. Let's just leave it at that. But Fox's longtime communications and PR chief, and she's been referenced, by the way. There's been a lot of lawsuits. I think Andrea Tantaro sued them. You can go. Irina comes up constantly, all the time. And by the way, Megyn Kelly also said some stuff about her that was, unkind, and rightfully so. But it said that Irina attempted to undermine, embarrass, and interfere with Carlson's future business prospects, which he maintains would constitute another breach of the employment contract. So what do they do? What is Carlson's lawyer doing? Oh, I need something that's not a nasty button. That's like, yeah, like a very strong yes. Make no mistake. We intend to subpoena Ms. Briganti's cell phone. He's taken her cell phone records and related documents, which evidence communications with her in all media, including but not limited to the New York Times. What does that mean? It means that the internal Fox News ref, this PR woman that's been protected for years, by the way, years, and is very unkind to people and holds these folders and files allegedly on people and all that stuff. He's saying, well, we're gonna take a look at that now. Did you reach out to the New York Times? Did you internally try to leak stuff to make Tucker Carlson look bad? Ooh, he is not messing around. And he also said that because he's considering litigation, he said that Fox News has to preserve all existing documents and data relevant to Fox's relationship with Carlson, including correspondence between top executives and media outlets. So the lawyer is saying you can't delete stuff, you can't hide stuff, you need to preserve everything because we're going to take a look and see if, in fact, you leaked stuff on him, which would account for a breach of contract, in which case you can't prevent him from working. Oh, man, this is their worst nightmare. It's a nightmare for them. It's a nightmare because I will guarantee you that there's stuff to be found. I will. Let me say it. Let me look at you and tell you this. Stuff can be found. You wouldn't believe what I've seen come to the surface, even about myself. I'm telling you, man, stuff will be found. And it will be very ugly. And I don't know, man. I don't know how they saved themselves after this, to be honest with you. I thought the audience was going to leave them once the vaccine mandate hit. I couldn't understand how you could go on TV, freedom fighter, yeah, a big American flag. We love the U.S. Fight for your freedom in a company that had a vaccine mandate. I mean, is it just me? And I understand people don't know where to go. They can't turn on CNN. They can't turn on MSNBC. But you got to know you're dealing with a fraud, right? Am I right? God, you got a COVID test constantly. If that separate set of rules. If you got the vaccine, you got to have you don't have to wear a mask. Otherwise, it's just all nonsense. Freedom lovers, freedom fighters, my tushy, you know. Okay, so that's what's going on. Now this happens. Do I think he's going to sue? I don't think he wants to, but he is letting them know you're not taking me off the air. He knows, like we said the other day, where the bodies are buried. He does, by the way. This guy has he's been there for a long time. He knows. They don't want unleashed what he can unleash. So now they're stuck. And also, he's got all the the ratings are dropping. I saw something the other day. I should have held on to that said in their demo, some shows had sunk beneath it. CNN and MSNBC. I mean, they're doing horribly. If you like the short clip and want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one on Connect, you're going to click right here. Let's get to talking.